Seattle Pride faces budget shortfall as corporate sponsorships dwindle amid anti-DEI shift. Let's call it what it is, anti-racism shift. The Orange Man administration's crackdown on racism may be affecting corporate funding for alphabet soup events. Are you trying to say that this shit was just a corporate virtue signal from the start? And there's like no big grassroots swelling of support? Let me actually correct that. There was at first, at the very beginning, when the whole alphabet soup rights fight started, most normies were actually on their side. Most normies were like, why does it matter if gay people get married and all that other stuff? Just let them do it. Who cares? Why does it bother you so much what other people do? And then the conservatives were like, dude, this is a slippery slope. They're going to start here and then they're going to start cutting your kids' dicks off. Oh, that's just a crazy conspiracy theory. Okay, now I'm really on their side. If this is the type of bigoted ignorance they're fighting against, oh, hell yeah, we're going to throw our full support behind them. How dare you display such bigotry? Hindsight's a bitch, ain't it? So anyway, initially the public was on their side until they started proving the conservatives and their slippery slope theory correct. That is ultimately what turned everyone against them. Now everyone was like, fuck, man, the religious nut jobs were right about this one. Who knew? Seattle Pride reportedly faces an uncertain future as corporations turn away from DEI. In recent years, Pride parades have been funded by major corporations. They've always been corporate virtue signals. What a funny coincidence. But the shift against DEI and identity politics across American businesses and culture is reportedly beginning to take its toll. Until all of this shit is back underground where it belongs, it hasn't taken enough of a toll. Seattle Pride is centered on one of the most famous left-leaning bastions on the left coast. Reportedly faces a shortfall of nearly $350,000, which, according to Seattle-based Como News, is attributed to recent rollbacks, initiatives, and political challenges facing the alphabet soup community. Once again, they left the P off. Why do they keep hiding that one? Seattle Pride Executive Director Patty Hearn spoke to the fake news outlet about how the changing cultural and economical landscape may shift the onus of supporting Pride events from businesses to grassroots organizations and the community. Yeah, so this is where they realize they don't actually have any grassroots support or community. It's the same thing with video games. When they got rid of all the toxic chuds, so now the modern audience can show up and not be afraid, and then no modern audience showed up. It's going to be the same thing with these alphabet soup organizations. Oh, now it's up to the community to support us, and it'll be fucking crickets. Now, we have seen shifts in corporate sponsorship as companies assess their budgets and priorities, and some sponsors have not yet renewed their commitments this year. We're still in conversations with many of them. It's important to us that we partner with organizations that demonstrate genuine and sustained support for alphabet soup community year-round. Hey, guess what? None of them actually do. It's always just been an empty virtue signal. No one tell you that? Although I do find it kind of funny they're actually starting to hold them accountable, although they waited too long to do this. I personally love it when a virtue signaler gets held accountable. All right, man, you claim you're for this? Fucking prove it. Show us just how for it you are. It's especially imperative as the community faces ongoing political attacks. You mean retaliation. Hearn added further that we know that relying on corporate sponsorships is not the future of Pride. The future is community. That's why we're leaning into grassroots partnerships and radical mutual aid. Oh, this is where the intersectionality comes in. Yeah, these groups have always been doing this. Like this is how you end up with alliances, like between alphabet soup organizations and Muslim organizations, for example. They're each just using each other to boost their numbers and financial power. But the second they don't need each other, it's a bloodbath. I mean, shit, actually, look at what happened when the Transformers attached themselves to gay rights. Yeah, now you got gay men going, yeah, maybe we made a mistake. Now we're basically being labeled as the bad guys in our own organizations while the Transformers took over everything. The organization reportedly said that the financial gap threatens the very core of Seattle Pride celebrations, including the annual Seattle Pride Parade itself. So according to Seattle Lies, Hearn said the retreat in financial commitments by major corpo sponsors assigned big-name companies may be following the lead of Orange Man administration, which has launched a sweeping campaign against racism and discrimination, and the alphabet soup community, in particular, Transformers. Doesn't that show exactly how much they supported you to begin with? You were only ever an empty virtue signal to these corpos. They pretended to support you because that's what society was pretending to support. Not with their wallets, though. It's a really rough world for and it just feels like it's part of the package. Hearn declined to name which corporations have neglected to renew the donations to annual events so far, claiming your team is still in some conversations with some of them. Yeah. So this is blackmail, basically. Like, yeah, we're not going to put you on blast yet. You still have time to give us money. You still have time to pay your blackmail. I typically have a lot more companies who sign the dotted line much earlier than the deadline. What we're seeing is a bit of uncertainty. Hearn told the fake news outlet that while the shortfall will not impact this year's festivities, the ones in current year plus one could look very different unless the situation changes. This is actually smart business, by the way. She added further that the organization is soliciting individual donations and grants and will start regularly hosting events to raise funds. So I just love the double standard, by the way. When Pig Roach holds fundraisers, they call him a filthy, greedy e-beggar. When these organizations do it, oh, well, I mean, they got to pay their bill somehow. Just something to think about. Like, no one's calling them beggars, even though that's what they are.